absolutely wonderful day so far. Great company, lovely weather, fine ceremony, and an absolutely luxurious venue we're in today. I knew I was in a very fancy place this morning when I woke up. Conor was staying in my room last night. When I went to wash my face in the sink, and they had Orla Kylie soap. And it wasn't Conor's, it was already there. So if the rest of the evening is aiming to go away, I'm sure it'll only get better. And now I'd just like to hand you over to Pat, the father of the bride, to kick us off with a few words.
It was the 1st of March 1987. And Anya was about 4.5 years old at the time, and she wanted a new bike. So Anne and myself were up in Fork Hill about 10 o'clock in the morning when she told me that she could feel cramps and the beginnings of the arrival of the newest member of the family. Now, South Armagh in 1987 was not the best place to be when you had to get to a hospital or get on an emergency. But we made it down home and then to Dublin to Mary and Jimmy's house, and Jimmy walked down around the place for an hour to just help the process along. And at 4:20 the next morning, 4:20 I think it was the next morning, Aoife was born. And Anya got not only a new bike, but she got a new sister and a friend for life. And that's not always the way with sisters and brothers, I think, that they're not always friends, but these two are just the best of friends that you could ever hope for. It wasn't always like that. They often fought and cribbed all evening long, and then they joined in a confederation once it got time to go to bed. And then they became the best of friends. And talking of Anne, we all know the hole that's in our hearts and in our lives today of all days, that she's not here. She was our advisor, our rock of strength, and the one that was the heart of our family. But, and I'm not going to say any more because I know that the two will start fighting. But I do know that on a day like this, I don't think she'd be missing it. The day her little girl got married, and all the people she loves best are gathered together. So I'm sure she is watching us. Not so much watching, keeping an eye on us to make sure that we do everything right, and woe betide us if we don't. I know it's common in weddings to go back and find the faults of the people as they're growing up. But actually I'm not going to mention any faults that Anita had. She was and is just a perfect girl. Some might say stubborn. I'd say just maybe a bit set in her ways. When she was very small, she cried a lot because it wasn't her fault. She had colic. we didn't know what to do about it, and we found that the one and only thing that could make her stop is I had a tape of Willie Nelson. After 6 months, that tape didn't work anymore because it had been played so often over her cot. The other qualities that she has, not had, but has, is her great sense of diligence, work, and always doing the things she needs to do. I know parents that would have to nearly bait their children into a room to do their homework at night. I had the opposite. I'd be going to bed at night, and I'd be saying, "Oh, Aoife, come on, it's time for you to go to bed. Put down those books and stop studying." And she's still the same to the present day. That sense of diligence and that sense of doing what needs to be done. There's one other quality that I think is just so admirable and so rare, and that's her quality for friendship. If you look around the gathering today, the goofs and the honorary goofs are testimony to how people can start out life together and still be friends and best friends all these years later. I'm looking at Suzanne, who started in Miss Brady's play school with her. And many of the others she met in primary school and in secondary school, and friends, even no matter what part of the world they tend to find themselves in. And not only to make friends, but being loved. Her two little nephews, Conor, their Auntie Aoife, Oisin and Fikra, are they there? Yes. Okay. The first thing I want to say is what a great job they did bringing up the reins today. They were absolutely good. And I hope they enjoy the rest of the day. I said at Anya's wedding that one of the things a father doesn't have any control over are the sorts of boys that their daughters bring home. Fortunately, the two that my daughters brought home are not half bad.
Glowing.
Apart from anything, and apart from anything else, the fact that they love sport nearly as much as I do is a great asset. I know Conor is a bit obsessive about Leinster, but that's balanced by his mother's obsession with Munster. They make a good team. And finally, I'd just like to say, Conor, that you're so welcome into the family. We're so delighted to have you. And if she's ever gets too out of hand, I suggest a Willie Nelson tape.
Thanks very much, Pat. Now it's on to the groom himself to say a few words. Thanks, James. I'm going to start with a story to follow on from the Willie Nelson story. In nearly, maybe we wouldn't have been here today. I thought Aoife really liked a guy called Willie Mason. I told her he was playing at Electric Picnic one year, and we went to see him, and it wasn't obviously Willie Nelson. That's nearly the end of it. So I kind of want to say a few things about Aoife's mum as well. As Pete said, today isn't the perfect day that we would have hoped for. April was very hard on the whole family, everyone up in Tullyallen.
it's just the build-up has been difficult and hard. But I met Anne for the first time in Sweden in 2009. I was there doing a summer internship, and Aoife had just finished college and was back for a second year in Sweden. So I met Anne for the first time that summer. Myself and Aoife became friends at that time, but Anne always said that she knew something else was going on, even before we did. And I think anyone who knows Anne was probably, she was right at that time. One of the nice things about this venue is that Aoife's mum came with us to view it back last year. And this was the first place we had seen, and Anne didn't want us to go see anywhere else. She thought this was the perfect place for us to get married. It probably helped by the fact that when we did our tour of the gardens and stuff, Anne ended up with a box about this size of stuff from the garden, vegetables and stuff. So I think, again, anyone who knows Anne wouldn't be surprised by something like that. I know Aoife's mum was so proud of her, and I think everyone knew that. I've heard stories of her going round to some of the goofs and telling them how lucky they were to have Aoife as a friend. So I think that sums it up. So yeah, I think we lit a candle for her, and I think we should just continue to remember her throughout the next couple of days. Another person I would have loved to have been here is my granddad. He turned 99 last month, and he's just a bit frail, and he couldn't make it today, so it would just be, I'm remembering him anyway as we go through today. I did hear that the reason he wasn't coming was because he didn't get a +1. I don't know if that's true. He never told me that. I never quite got used to using the term fiance. I don't know if I ever used it once. But I'm going to start from now and say my wife and I would like to thank you all for coming. You're all here for one reason or another. You played a part in one or both of our lives, and we're just so happy that you've all come today to celebrate with us. I think it can be easier to come on days like this, but back in April and in the lead up to Aoife's mum passing away, the messages we got, the support we got from all of you just was amazing, and we just both want to thank you for that. I think it just kind of showed the importance of friends and family and having a good support structure around. The next I want to go on and talk about is all the Tully Allen crew. So P, Anya and Joe, Ushin and Fiacre. I think P summed it up when he said the boys did an absolutely brilliant job coming up the aisle with the rings and getting the ring safely to James. I wasn't worried about them, what James would do with them. I feel like I've been part of the family ever since the first time I went up, but I think this is just putting a rubber stamp on the whole thing. I've always felt so at ease in all of your company. Your mum fed me like, I don't know, I was some dignitary coming to visit you. And Anya stepped up to do that in the last few months. Then on to Aoife's dad. I think one of the lads summed it up best after the stag when he said that P was a gentleman, and that's the best word I can think of to describe P. Ever since I first started going to their house, the one question I would get when I sat down was, will you have a cup of tea? I don't drink tea. And I think P knows I don't drink tea now, but he still asks the same question over and over again. And I think I'm lucky that he allowed this to happen, even though I'm a non-tea drinker. As P said, when I go up, we often sneak into his living room to watch any match that'd be on the TV. We have many conversations about various sporting things. P was sure that Joey Carberry would go to Munster during the summer, and I wasn't so sure. We had a discussion on whether Ronan O'Gara or Johnny Sexton was the best number 10 Ireland had had.
No question.
I don't know. You can ask him later what it is. And I think we agreed to disagree on whether Jimmy Cooney cost Clare a third All-Ireland in 4 years in the 90s, but that's a different story. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for always making me feel welcome up in Tullyarna. Then on to my mum. I think she's there in the middle there. To say she's been looking forward to today is an understatement. 2 weeks ago I got a picture on my phone, and I opened it up and I was, what is this? It was a picture of a carton of milk, and it had today's date on it. So I think that sums up how excited she was. Mum made so many sacrifices for us growing up. She moved us from country to country till we ended up settling in Naas. She spent her weekends driving me and some of the lads to matches in her small little silver polo over the Sally Gap. But she never missed a match. Yeah, she just always was there and pushing me to do what I wanted and to achieve as much as I could achieve, even though maybe sometimes study wasn't at the top of my priority list. But I think ending up where I've ended up today, I can thank Mam for that. Then on to my sister Amy. I made things very difficult for Amy growing up. But I think in the last few years we've become friends and closer, and Amy's also someone who's pushed me to better myself. I think most people with a younger sibling know that they come and they do everything better than you did it, and you have to keep trying to get ahead of them, but I think we just about stayed even in the end. I've just got a few more thank yous. My Auntie Brenda and Sean, we spent some time in their house as we grew up. We used to come back every summer so that Mum could work in Edinburgh. And Brenda and Sean would put on summer school, which I don't know, was that 1 or 2 hours every morning during the summer for myself and Brian? So thanks for that. Then my uncle Eamon, I think we spent a year living with them, as Eamon and Rita, in Scotland, and they had a big input on where I am today. One saying I remember from living with them is sometimes we wouldn't be great at eating our dinner, particularly Amy, not me so much. But Eamon just used to say, "Shut up, eat up." No, sit up, shut up, and eat up. So there we go.
You said he'd say that to me.
There you go. Passed on to another generation. The bridesmaids, better get this right. I was told to say that you look amazing.
But
We'll leave it at that. So I've already talked about Anya. Bridget and Dom, I don't know where they are, they're behind there. Thanks so much for coming over last weekend. They came from upstate New York on Saturday. And you've made this week so special for the two of us. It's been so nice having you around. And Colleen, wherever she is, there. I know you've been probably keeping Aoife calm and everything in the background when I couldn't, and problems with the dress and everything. So thanks for that. On to the groomsmen. James, I'm a bit worried about what I should say here because he was next. He has some content, I think, to work on. I've known James since my first day in primary school in Naas, and he's always been there for me when I needed him. Himself and Shane are very loyal, and I think they're kind of a good representation of all the lads who've been there. I would say, my mum would say they got me into trouble, but I would say they kept me out of trouble. James is going to come up next. As I said, I'm a bit worried about what he's going to say. I think he still holds a grudge from 6th class when I beat him onto the credit union quiz team. So that's what I'm worried about. And then just a few final thank yous. Aoife Carlo, who made the cake. I presume there was a lot of input from Steve. I don't know how helpful the input was, but for Jessica, the coordinator here, and all the staff in CJH. If the food that we've had last night and for breakfast is anything to go by, we're in for a treat. It was amazing. My godmother Mary, who played the harp during the ceremony, she flew over from Scotland, so thanks for that. And then just thank you for all the offers of help. We didn't have enough jobs to go around for all the people that offered to help, but we appreciate that. So finally, Aoife. As I said, we first met in Sweden in 2009. Aoife, then I went back to finish college because I'm younger than Aoife. It is only 4 months, but they all count. Aoife went off to London, where you were there for a year, I think. Yeah. And then I fell into a PhD at the end of my undergraduate, whereas Aoife applied for 3 and got 3 offers. Lucky for me, she chose to come back to Des Moines, where I was doing my PhD. So we'd kept our friendship going over that year in London, and things kind of moved on a bit when we came back. Cans of Bavaria in the Pav and Jaeger bombers helped that along the way, but I think P described Aoife so well, so I don't really have to go into too much, but I think she's just the most loyal person. She'd go out of her way to help anyone, any of her friends, any of her family, her 2 boys. She's so caring, she's loving. What else? She's not very competitive, even though she's stubborn. She's not very competitive. She found the one bike in the spin class that isn't hooked up to the computer, so she can just cycle away there. She just makes me laugh and smile every day, which is just brilliant. And we've had many adventures so far, and I just can't wait to move on to the next chapter with her. So I guess. So I just want to propose a toast to Aoife.
Thanks, Conor.
All right.
Pat and Conor have spoke so eloquently now, it's actually made my job a little tough.
Don't have to say it.
Unfortunately, I can't do what Pat did. I'm going to have to use my cards here. I just want to clarify one thing first. I do have a grudge about that quiz team. Because Colin O'Brien over here cheated and told him the answer, which was the Webb Ellis Trophy, and he won by a point. As I said, the lad spoke absolutely beautifully, but now it's my chance to lower the tone.
Can't do that.
Before I start, I do need to mention a few things. Conor's had various nicknames over the years.
Yes.
Pa, Patches, Sauce, Barnacle, and
Personal favourite.
He was even double named Conor Young at one stage. Now, and that's that's where he got all these nicknames for it. Because one day he had a little tantrum. He said, "Why does everyone call me Conor Young? Like, there's other people who not even our friends, and they're called Conor." So we had to kind of think of a few names to kind of put him at ease. So anyway, the reason I said that is that if I refer to him as these different names, like, oh, you'll all know who I'm talking about anyway. Now the groom himself asked me to only tell stories in the last 4 years or so. I have no idea why. And actually, we were here last night, and we were walking out, and Conor, I can't even remember what he asked me to do. I think it was bring the beer inside into the kitchen to chill it for today. And Anne said she'd come with me and she'd join me, and I was surprised. I was like, I think I can find it myself, but on the little walk there, she gave me a little warning as well and said, please only tell stories in the last 4 years. So I'm going to honour those wishes of you both for the first half of the speech anyway. So for now, sauce, you're safe. Firstly, I wasn't asked to say this, but I just want to say the bridesmaids, you look absolutely amazing. I met all the girls last night for the first time. They seem lovely, and I'm still getting to know them, and
They're all in relationships.
And
never stop them.
I know from even seeing the work they were doing here yesterday. I tried to get here a bit early. Shane made some excuse about traffic, so we didn't have to do it. But all the girls were so much help to Aoife. I know they were all before that, so I know she's thankful for all that help. I know you put in so much effort to get this place looking absolutely amazing. Collie actually stole my line there. I was going to say that I had to do my research, so before anyone gets ideas, all the girls are taken. So, Aoife, you look absolutely stunning today. Even I wasn't worried about this speech. I've known you for a shorter time than I've known Conor. But in the time I have known you, you've always been the warm, friendly, kind person. I haven't seen the stubborn side that they're all talking about, but I know everyone else speaks as highly of you as I do, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you in the years to come now that you're married to my best friend. Now, there's 14 cue cards there. Now, on to the man himself. As I said, there was plenty of nicknames and they were there for a reason. Now, Conor already touched on it, but the first time I met him was actually in Naas CBS in 5th class in school, I think it was. And it's been touched on already, but Conor had just come over from Scotland. So he was in a new country, new town, but more importantly, a new school. And for anyone that's changed schools, let alone changed country, that's tough going. And my first memory of Conor is actually him standing on the periphery of a schoolyard soccer game. And anyone who's played those knows it's do or die for those 15 minutes. And I could see this new kid standing there looking a bit lonely, and he was there. He had a bright orange and luminous jacket on, floppy red hair, weird accent. And underneath there was this Munster jersey. Now, you may know Conor as this avid Leinster fan, but he tries to deny this and says there's no proof, but I have a lovely picture here. Conor isn't said Munster, so Shane, if you'd like to pass that around, get a good look at that.
Bless him like the rain.
It's amazing what Photoshop does these days.
It's real. Now the lads weren't too engaged with Conor. As I said, it was a do or die game of football, but I kind of felt a little bit sorry for him, so I went over and I asked him did he want to join in our game, and to be honest, from that moment on we were best friends. The lads reluctantly agreed, but it worked out well for us all in the end. said, we've been best friends since. We lived in the same estate, went to the same school, primary, secondary, played hurling and football together, and after watching the '99 Rugby World Cup, we joined Nace RFC, and we blitzed it up scoring tries for years. They don't know me. This is my chance. We even lived together in college for a while, but throughout the school days, the time I really got to know Conor were on those walks home from school. We genuinely talked about anything. We only talked about this morning as well. We learned so much about each other in the world. We talked about girls, family, sports, anything, you name it, we talked about it. But we did do some strange things as well, like, I don't know. That's not as weird as that. We were walking home one day, and I'd probably say it was me, but we just decided to smoke grass. I don't know why. We were about 10 years of age. No, I don't mean like that cool American name for weed or anything like that. It was genuinely picked up blades of grass, lit them, and smoked them. There was no reason. It was just curiosity, wasn't it? So I know Anne says that it was her pushing him to study, like Aoife was going to study and Conor wasn't, but I think it was me fostering that curiosity that led him to be the scientist or doctor that he is today. As I said, it wasn't the only strange moment. Myself and Conor, we even have our own song. And I know that's really weird. And it's even, the song is Truly, Madly, Deeply by Savage. I genuinely again don't know how that came about. I don't want to put the damper on the day, but just wanted to know that I had a song with her. In saying that, in all the time I know Conor, we've rarely had a fight. We've had a few, but on a very rare occasion. Usually it was over some silly decision in a local Sunday soccer match, or if we were on opposing sides in training and giving out about a decision. But there have been a few occasions that I've seen his angry side, and I don't know if any of you've seen it, but it's not pretty. I'm a competitive person, as so is Conor, and I actually have a witness here. You can just ask his sister Amy, because one day she actually ended up on a broken foot from a wild swing of an Xbox controller flying across the room. So she ended up in a cast and in hospital. And he was only playing against the computer. As everyone, I'm sure everyone knows, Conor has a PhD, and he's a smart guy. He's Dr. Conor Young. But I suppose this all started in school. Now, Conor was always very intelligent. He had what you call natural ability. I suppose he was probably pushed to have to do study, but he was like a sponge. He took everything in anyway. But he was also a cute whore as well. He learned from an early age to have the crack like the rest of us, but he never got caught. Ever. Colin O'Brien is I can tell you a few more. So while the rest of us were being thrown out, getting extra homework, getting detention, Conor was always there sitting pretty. There was times when, in biology class, lads were breaking meter sticks off each other's backs. Don't know what happened in your school, but people bagging each other, crawling up and down the sides. And Conor was in the thick of it all, but just always got away with it, never had to deal with any of the consequences. So much so that my mother would always say to me, why can't you be more like Conor Young? So even she double named you. However, as we got older and we entered college, Conor's luck did start to finally run out a little bit. I'm sure you all know now he's sold him water, but Conor doesn't drink anymore, but it was always the case. There was the late nights, the party. But like anyone our age, we just what normal lads and girls do going out. Now there was great memories, and there was ones you wish you didn't have. As mentioned, we lived together, and the lovely fella Shane over here lived with us as well, up in Whitehall, I think it was, beside the bingo hall. Now one night, we had a huge party. Shane's 21st, I think it was. And I won't go into it, but let's just say it got a bit out of control. We ended up waking up the next morning And Shane had about 20 missed calls, I had 20 missed calls, Conor had 20 missed calls, all of us, and we were shitting ourselves. Long story short, we got evicted, but we pleaded, we promised, we apologised profusely, and with a new lease saying we couldn't have any noise after 10 o'clock, and a promise of a huge tidy up, that was the end of it. For me and Shane anyway, it wasn't over for Conor. Later, a picture was posted on a popular social media site of Conor in a not so flattering light. Now, Conor had gone to the bathroom during the evening and the activities had kind of taken a toll on him. He was a little bit tired, shall we say. So, all he did was rest his eyes in the jacks for a few minutes. And that was it. That was as bad as it got. But lucky enough, as a group of friends we are, we have some esteemed photographers in the group. So they actually captured the moment perfectly. So if you'd all like to take a look at the big screen up on I'm only joking, I wouldn't do that shit, but
Still out there.
but genuinely, myself and Shane have the phone on our phones. If anyone wants to see it later, just come up and we'll show you. There were lots of stories, and I can't go into them all for obvious reasons.
Legal reasons.
Yeah, and there's not enough time, but there was a couple in particular that stick out in my memory, and one was the Champions League final that United were in 2008. Now, we were finished college and it was great crack, and we said we'd go for a couple of pints. And obviously, big United fans, the three of us were. I think Robert was there as well. We got a bit excited and we got carried away with United's win. We ended up in Coppers, in our United jerseys. And at one stage I had this realisation. And I was like, shit, Conor has an exam in the morning. So I went in, I tried to coax him out, and all I got back was, you and I. So that was kind of, there was no talking to him at that stage, but
Nailed the exam.
stealing my punchlines. As Conor says, he did nail that exam. But there was another night out in secondary school, and these two lads here was the smartest there. And Conor, by the way, has letters after his name. He's a doctor, and Shane does some shit in Facebook. But he's a good child as well. Back in the day, these two lads decided that it'd be a good idea to put pots in their head and go jousting. Now, as an adult, this is as stupid as it sounds. They literally put pots in their head, bent over and ran at each other.
I didn't run. I stayed still and beat that.
But again, the video is up there, so you can all check it out. I'm sure as a village. But I said the lads turned out great in the end, and it didn't affect them. They passed over. I do have one confession to make. Don't worry about it, it's not as sinister as it sounds. I started off by telling that school story about football and all that, and made myself out to be a real selfless and kind person. It wasn't exactly how it transpired. What actually happened was our football was in tatters, and he was standing there with a brand new football and a new school, and I just saw an opportunity and I took it. But I'll be honest with you, it led me to one of my best friends, so I wouldn't change it for the world. We had some great times together, interesting experiences, and lots of other stuff over the years. And it's from all these shared experiences and time spent together that I think I do know Conor really, really well. Conor's a loyal friend, honest, and always there if you want a word over the phone or face to face. Anything I've asked, he's been there for me, and I just want to say it is an honour to have been asked to be your best man here today. As I said earlier, Conor has a knack of landing on his feet, and from looking at Aoife here today, I know that you've done it again. I actually remember a few years ago sitting in Barker and Jones having a coffee with him in Nace, and he told me the moment he was going to. I remember the moment that he told me he was going to marry Aoife. I remember from the words he used, his whole demeanour, that I knew he was absolutely mad about her. He was sure even back then that it was only a matter of time. Now look, it took him a fucking long while to get there after that, but look, we're here now anyway. As I said, Conor is one of the most intelligent, bright people I know. He may have had to push into study, but he was naturally smart. But looking at both of you guys here today, I know the best decision you ever made was asking Aoife to become your wife. I was going to say you were perfect for each other, all those things, but I think it was summed up in the ceremony today that you work together. You're right with each other, not for each other. Aoife, you're an amazing person. The short time I got to know you, I can really see this. You have all the qualities that anyone could ask for in a partner, and I know Conor sees this, and he said it to me on more than one occasion, and that's without drink involved. I'd just like to say I was going to wish you the best happiness in your years to come, but I don't need to, because I know you're perfect for each other. I know you work so well together, you complement each other in every way. So the last thing I'd like to say is, I'd just like to raise a glass, or a bottle, to Conor and Aoife. Thank you.